As 2018 comes to an end, Century 21 Durden Cornegay would like to take this opportunity to thank you for another terrific year. And on behalf of all the agents at Century 21, including Charlene Lamb, David Deeves, Delton Lamb, Benny Helton, Jay Bailey, Raina Dubberly, Pam Tillery, Jessica Granger, Jennifer Bradley, Ruth Watson, Sarah Colby, Jim Jarrett, Charlene Brantley, Jody Tanner, Karen Whitmer, Yvonne Robertson, and broker George Durden. Thanks for another great year. If you're buying or selling a home, commercial property, or land, count on the professionals at Century 21 Durden Cornegay. For more information, log on to c21dublin.com. Century 21 Durden Cornegay, broker George Durden.
Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to have with me today my dear friend Angela Daniels. Angela, we've been together many times, haven't we?
Yes, sir, we have.
And of course, we got the commander with us today. We better act right, James Drury. And it is an exciting time of the year. It's actually, we're talking about the flag retirement coming up. This is actually, I believe, the 8th year in a row we've done a flag retirement. And for those of you, before we get into it, if you've never witnessed the humbling experience of a flag retirement, you really want to come and be a part of this. Angela, I'm going to go to you first. Talk a little bit about, on a personal level, what kind of feeling it is, the respect and the humility of watching a flag retirement.
It is very humbling, as you said. It gives you chill bumps. If you really listen to what the words are saying and you really understand what the process and what each part means, if you break down the flag retirement ceremony itself, each part has a specific meaning. And once you understand that, then it's breathtaking.
James, what branch of the military did you serve in?
I'm a dual service member. I did my active duty time with the Navy for 13 years. Then I joined the National Guard here in Dublin and was deployed to Iraq in 2005 and Afghanistan in 2009 and retired in 2011.
Can you remember back the very first flag retirement you ever saw?
Back in the 70s when I was in Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm. And tell me about that experience.
It was interesting to learn the meaning behind it and the pageantry of the ceremony. But it became more personal after serving in the military and pledging my allegiance to it, to defend it. Mm-hmm. And it's a very, like she said, humbling experience to retire the flag the proper way.
Mm-hmm. Angela, tell us when this next flag retirement is, where it is, when it is, what time it is.
It is March 2nd at 10:30 at Pageant Webb, American Legion, Post 17, over there on Moore Station Road. Mm-hmm.
And James, just recently, I guess the last 2 or 3 years, we changed the name of the American Legion to the Pageant Webb. Tell us a little bit about that.
A lot of the posts that started honoring World War II or POWs that had served in their community and were members of the posts, and the two that we decided to honor was Mr. Paget and Mr. Webb. Both served in World War II, both were POWs, and we had to submit the names all the way up to national, and they have to authorize it, and then once it was authorized, we had to change our charter to show the change of the name.
Yeah, and I just happen to know both those families. It couldn't have been named for more honorable. I know Mr. Webb, I went to his funeral, and I'd never seen a 21-gun salute. And the family had asked me to come film it so they could have that to save as a keepsake. Oh my goodness. That, and I know y'all have seen it. I'd never seen it. And to know the man made it just doubly just, you know, I don't even know how to describe it other than, you know, you must not have a heart if that don't do something to you. But to watch the way they do it and the 21-gun salute and every time those rifles are fired, it was just a awesome experience. But and then the Paget family, just a wonderful family. Like you said, they served our country in ways that most of us, me included, can't even imagine what they went through and what they saw. So we have the very freedoms we enjoy today, just like sitting on this TV set.
Yes.
We don't have to worry about. We can say what we want to say and do what we want to do pretty well. And but this is one of those freedoms that they fought for right here. So, Angela, talk a little bit about the way the flag retirement's done. Talk about that.
Well, this year we're having a little smaller extension of it than we normally do. The Girl Scouts, Carol Bryant, her Girl Scout troop is going to be there, and they're actually going to do flag folding on top of that. And we are going to break down what each fold means this year. We are going to extend it just a small amount because usually it takes about 30 minutes and it's going to take about 45 minutes this year. As the flags are being marched up to presentation to the commander, the Sacred March is being played. It is an honor to see them. The flags that are going to be retired are already folded in triangle form, and they are laid out on a battlefield stretcher. Even if they haven't seen battle, they have still flown and stood for the honor. They still symbolized all those out there in the battlefield, all those out there. This is our national symbol we're talking about. It's not just a piece of cloth. The first part of my speech starts as, I am your flag. By itself, I'm just a piece of cloth of different colors, without meaning behind it. I am nothing. But as our national symbol, and then it goes on to a longer speech. And that within itself is powerful. And it is a wonderful, wonderful, educational experience for the younger versions. I'd never seen a flag retirement ceremony until we done it. So we have added to it every single year to actually have it encompass everything. It already encompasses our heart. It already encompasses our heart. Because when we do our flag retirement ceremony, every single one of us in our post give everything we got to it. And we try to make sure that we honor those flags, we honor our community, and we honor our servicemen, past, present, and future. One of the things that we are extending on is community involvement. That is the biggest thing. the educational aspect. Younger generations that's never seen it. Even at my age, there is so many people who have not seen it. So.
Yep. Well, let's take a commercial break. We'll be back and talk more. We'll talk about the American Legion and talk a little bit more about those foals that Angela's talking about. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, I'm Darren Keene with Clements & Keene Insurance. If you work at a place that does not offer you health insurance, or maybe you're self-employed, maybe you're a contractor, you may have thought health insurance is something that you can't afford for you and your family. The good news is you can. There's several tax credits available, and we can help you get those tax credits. Some people qualify for even 95% of their premium to be paid through these tax credits. You owe it to you and your family to come see us at the Little White House, 503 Bellevue Avenue, or give us a call, 272-8019.
Welcome back, everybody. Continuing our conversation with Angela Daniels and James Drury with the American Legion, Paget Webb American Legion here in Dublin. We were talking about the foals, James, a minute ago. You know, and so many people this day and time trying to take God out of everything.
Yes.
And those foals are tied directly to not only Christianity, but the Jewish faith. What do you think about that?
It was whenever they decided how to fold the flag, and they came up with the meanings for each fold. You could tell that they took a lot of time to figure out what each fold would represent, and not just the face, but like the Gold Star, our mothers and the service members from past and present, and even the symbol, the triangle of the fold itself is supposed to represent the style of hat that George Washington wore during the Revolution. It's very humbling to understand what each fold actually means when they're going through it, and it puts more I can't think of the word pride, I guess, that when you understand what each fold stands for, and you realize that it is for all of our fallen soldiers and their families.
Let's talk about the American Legion. Angela, how did you become a part of the American Legion here in Dublin?
I was a wartime veteran, and that's literally all you need to be to become one. We volunteer everywhere, not just at the VA, and it's not always just about the veterans. We volunteer in our communities too. We work with our community leaders, our community organizations, nonprofit organizations, and the whole point of this is to bring families together. We have the American Legion for the veterans themselves. We have the Ladies Auxiliary for the wives, the daughters, grandmothers, mothers of the veterans. And then we have juniors, which is from age 17 all the way down to birth. We have the Sons of the American Legion for the husbands, the sons, the brothers, the grandsons. And you can be a son from birth to death. So it's, as long as you have a wartime veteran in your family that is blood relative, then you can become. When I say that, I mean it has to be in your immediate family.
Well, you got two big veteran organizations, the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars. The difference between the two is the American Legion, you had to be serving during that time. You don't have to actually have gone overseas to fight in a war. But it was a organization that was developed 100 years ago this year, after World War I. And the American Legion has been the biggest organization to fight for the veterans. The American Legion created, or helped create, what is now the VA administration. Not only for the medical aspect of it, but the VA loans, education, which I'm a recipient of that. I've gotten my bachelor's degree in criminal justice through the VA. They also help fight for all the GI Bills that have gone through that the government has allocated funds for the veterans, and we still fight for them today.
Okay. We're going to take another commercial break, and we're going to come back and wrap things up right after this. Stay with us. Dublin-Macon Cardiology, celebrating over 14 years of serving Dublin and Lawrence County. At Dublin-Macon Cardiology, we're always committed to taking care of you and your heart. Bringing state-of-the-art cardiac care closer to home with a walk-in chest pain center. New patients are always welcome and no referral is ever required. Dr. Vega is proud to announce the addition of Elise Rotramel, a nurse practitioner, to our staff. Drop by today at Dublin-Macon Cardiology, 206A Hospital Drive in Dublin. Welcome back, everybody. I have with me James Drury and Angela Daniels with the American Legion here in Dublin. James, before we go, why is it important, Angela mentioned a little while ago, who can become a part of the American Legion here in town or anywhere. Why is it important to support the American Legion and be an active part in it?
Well, like I mentioned in the past, what the American Legion has done in the past, we're still having to try to help. Our biggest motto is veterans helping veterans. And you have a lot of veterans that come in that don't know how to apply for their benefits, don't know how, if they're even eligible for their benefits. And what we do, we help them go through their paperwork and make sure everything is filled out properly, and it streamlines their ability to get the care they need. We have a large, Georgia has the largest veteran that are homeless right now. We're trying to help them with food and stuff like that, and help, there's a program at the VA for them. We can help get them involved with them to help get them back on their feet. And it takes money. And we do a lot of fundraisers and collect food for our food pantry, and anything that we can get would be extremely helpful.
Okay. And Angela, flag retirement ceremony coming up. Tell us again the date and where and what time.
It is March 2nd at 10:30 a.m. and it's going to be at Paget Webb, American Legion, Post 17, over there on Moore Station Road, behind Johnny's Pizza is the best way to describe it. And we hope to see everyone there.
Okay. It's really, as we started out this conversation, a very humbling experience that if you've never been, please come and be a part of it. We're going to be reminding you up until the date of the flag retirement. So please come out and be a part of it, and also support the American Legion. Well, I really appreciate y'all being here today. Thank you for your service, and if I don't see you but a couple times a year, I know I'm going to see you Veterans Day and Memorial Day. We always together then, and then we do cross paths here and there, but I know I can count on seeing y'all those 2 days, because I tell people, I'm at the VA a lot, but those are 2 days that I always want to be a part of, because when we memorialize our veterans and we honor our veterans, we should all, as a community, be there. We are thankful for the VA hospital. Y'all watch the Vincent Voice right here on TV 35. We thank you for supporting that show and supporting our veterans and supporting the VA hospital. It is our largest employer here in Lawrence County. Thank you to the VA. Thank you for your service, and thank you for joining us today.